Stood on the block in that rain.
I gotta get it. Cause I gotta get it. We out on the mission.
Okay, track on. We stood on the block in that rain. Used to post up on them benches. We really come straight from the trenches. Niggas they hate and they envy. This money is filthy, but nigga I gotta go get it. Ain't wasting my time with these bitches. They telling me lies and I act like I listen. You catch me in traffic and I got my glizzy. I ride with that gang and we out on a mission.
We out on the mission.
And we on a mission to get it. Told Lil Day go run up them digits. Ain't about money, then a nigga can't listen. Stay down too long, straight to the millions. Move low key, now they all in they feelings. Wrong play made, and them young niggas blessing. 20s and 50s, that's all that we hearing. Still in the trap, cause I gotta get it. I gotta get it, my nigga. I'm
Peace,
still in
pretty
that
girl. It's Kiara J, and it is Samaria Lee. And today's discussion will be breaking generational cycles and generational chains.
Yes.
And this topic came about while listening to interview with Kevin Gates. He was on Big Boy's talk show. And he said something that really stood out to me, which was he is learning to accept his feminine side and how we need to stop comparing feminine versus masculine and pitting the two against each other, femininity versus masculinity, because each of us has a feminine side and a masculine side. And the reason he was speaking on that is because he said once getting therapy and growing up, he learned that the way he was raising his children wasn't the way he should be. And with that being said, he said that if his daughter will fall before, previously, he would be like, get back up, you alright. Even if she's crying, he would say that. And now, fast forward to his present self, if his daughter fall, he's going to pick her up and let her know it's okay, and he's going to nurture her. That's when his feminine side kick in. Because we all say women have motherly instincts, but as dads should have fatherly instincts as well. And as fathers, just because you're a father don't give you a pass on the nurtured part. Men should be able to nurture their kids just as well as women nurture their kids. So that's what he said he's getting into his feminine side. And this topic was also very important to me because I also ran across this dropping my daughter off at daycare. I saw this guy and he was cursing his son out. I'm talking about mother effer, and his son probably was 3 or 4. And I'm just no. This have to stop. This have to stop. And that also, my third reason for wanting to discuss this topic is because I've watched someone very dear to me grow up. And I've known him since he was a little boy, maybe 4 years old. And I remember back when he was 4 years old, people was already talking negative things on him. Oh, he gonna be locked up when he get older. He bad. And one day he told me, Samaria, I'm bad. And I'm no, you're not. Why would you say that? He said, because everybody say I'm bad, so it just is what it is. And that really stood out to me because it's whatever you tell kids, they take literal. And when they are young, they are in the learning stages. So if a 4-year-old is in the learning stages and he's getting his development skills and his learning from people older than him, and the people older than him bringing him up, raising him, is telling him things like he's bad, or he's going to be locked up in jail, or you can't be a rapper when you get older because you don't know how to rap, and such. These learning stages where kids take everything literal, it's your words are what they become. And in return, now he's older, teenager, and you know, he just living up to all the expectations that, well, not expectations, but the limitations that people put on him as a little boy. And it's just so, it's so unfortunate because he's such he was, I'm not even going to say he was, because I know that kid is still in him, but he's such a bright kid. And he can be so much in life, so handsome, like he can be a superstar. But he grew up to just be all of the things that people said he was going to be at a young age. And I think it's because he was in that learning stage, so he just adapted to that. And that it's just, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's a lot to take in. That's a really sad story, but unfortunately, a lot of our children, they grow up thinking sometimes the worst about themselves because of what other people placed upon them. And I was watching a podcast also that stuck out to me, but it was a Nipsey Hussle podcast, and he was talking about how you have all these dreams, aspirations, and this, like, children, they dream big, they think they could be anything in life when they're small, and then they come outside. And then they come outside and they get influenced by everything around them. And sometimes some children grow to be strong enough to bypass all of that. But some people aren't, and they just take that in as their reality, and this is just what it is. If everybody else around me see this in me, then it must be true about me. Mm-hmm. Or if I forget what I'm trying to say, hey, it was right there on the tip of my tongue, and I forgot what I was about to say.
Or it's like the words are, it's because it's repetitive, because they keep hearing it, then it becomes their own voice in their head.
Yeah, they start to believe it. Yeah. They believe it, and they don't think that they can be anything better than that, because our first heroes are our parents. When we born, the first people that we look up to are our parents. And even if our parents don't think so, their opinions mean a lot when we are children. Like, their opinions are everything. So we have to remember to put the best in our children, even if we don't believe it at the moment, because sometimes we know in our heart that our kids can't do certain things. That it might be physically impossible, but that is our own projections, our own fears that we are placing on them, because we think they are too small to do it. They might not be too small to do it. They might still do the impossible. We might think it's impossible, but they might really defy the odds and do it. I read a book a long time ago, Napoleon Hill. His son was born deaf. His son was born deaf, and he could not speak. He's whispered in his son's ear every night that you will be able to hear and you will be able to speak. And his son learned to speak. And not even scientists or doctors could explain how. His son didn't have whatever it was in his ear that he needed to be able to hear. He didn't have that. He didn't grow he didn't develop that. But he was able to hear because his father's words spoke volumes, and his father's words healed him. His father's hope and his father's faith that he would be able to hear one day, it healed him. And because he probably was reading his father's lips as well, telling him, giving him all of this encouragement. And I feel like the mind is a powerful force. So what you believe, what you ask, you believe, you receive. So if you believe very strongly, I read a book. I have a book in my book collection right now, and it's called, what is it called? I'm sorry, I can't remember what it's called, but he talking about the power of healing. And he was paralyzed. They told him he will never be able to walk again. And in the book, he spoke about how if he dropped something on the floor, he told them doctors, you bet not pick that up. It ain't like I'm paralyzed or something, I can get it. And they would all laugh. But he explained, like,
he meant to make jokes and stuff because laughter, happiness, and positivity raise your vibration, and that's healing on its own. So it's just the positive thoughts and the encouragement that can heal, because really the body heals itself. In that book, it also explains how our organs and our internal warehouse, I'm going to say warehouse, it redevelops. Like your kidney, it regrow. But you have to eat right. You have to nourish your body with nourishing foods, and not
Dr. Bobby Price was talking about that.
Yeah, so when you nourish your body with healthy foods like a plant-based diet and stuff, then your organs can do what they meant to do. And every couple days or so, maybe every 300 days or so, we get a new heart, we get a new kidney, we get new lungs, all of that. But back to the book, he understood that. So he if my body can work like that, then nobody is going to tell me that I'm paralyzed. No, I'm not paralyzed. I'm going to walk again one day. And he healed himself. He ended up walking. And again, unexplainable. Because they said it was no nerve. It's no nerve there. How is he walking? Mm-hmm. It's just power and positivity and encouragement and how you manifest the things that you think and the things that you believe about yourself. You manifest. It's even sitting around thinking about a bunch of negativity. You're going to manifest negativity into your life.
Yeah, it's that energy. You have to learn how to clean your energy, keep your energy clean. But that also ties back into what you speak on your children. If we don't know by now, us as parents, we are shaping society by how we are raising our children. Mm-hmm. Because our children are next up to be in the world and to put out good and light and positive energy onto the next person. So growing up, everything is a learned behavior. Mm-hmm. Children get it from somewhere, even their belief system and their thoughts. If a child is born into a household that is very Christian-like, they're going to grow up with those beliefs. Now, mm-hmm. later in life, they may change them when they get around. They may go and say they want to hang out with some Muslims, and they think, man, I like this better. Then they may change it. But that's the thing. When you get outside, mm-hmm. the influence changes you, but it starts at home. Mm-hmm. It starts at home. If you say, say that I'm an English speaker. I adopted a Spanish child. Mm-hmm. All right? So I'm raising this Spanish child in an English household. This child will grow to speak English. So the child is adapting to its circumstances mm-hmm. and its environment. That's the same way if you are in a negative environment and you raise a child up in a negative environment, they're going to go out into the world with negative thoughts, beliefs, and intentions, and they are going to put that off on somebody else because this is their learned behavior. This is what they know.
And that's what that movie is about. Not Get Out. What's this other movie?
Is it Us? No, is
it Them?
I thought it was Us.
It might be Us.
And Them is a TV show.
Okay, so it's Us. Us is just like that.
That's exactly what it's about. If you didn't catch the concept or if you didn't see the movie, but when the girl was kidnapped, she was brought up in a society like ours. She was kidnapped and she was raised in another society. And then later down the line,
they were swapped.
Yeah, they were swapped. And then later down the line, when they saw when the one that was kidnapped, she came out to the world. She was like the people that kidnapped her. Mm-hmm. Like her voice, she couldn't speak and stuff. Mm-hmm. And the one that they swapped her with had adopted to the outside world. Mm-hmm. And that's a deep interpretation of the power of your environment shaping who you are. Mm-hmm. That's like a deep interpretation. That's a good movie to watch to get an example of that. But it's just sad we put out these limitations on our kids. Even if it's something that we couldn't do growing up and our kid want to get into it, and we as a parent, like, you can't do that. I couldn't do that when I was little. No, you don't do that.
Mm-hmm. And you also don't tell. You also don't. You don't have to be 100% truthful to your kids. And I mean that in a sense. If you know your child, say if she coloring, and you know she coloring outside the lines a little bit, you don't go say, you don't know how to color, you coloring outside the lines. You tell your child that is a beautiful picture, and eventually she will learn how to color. He or she will learn how to color inside the lines, because with practice comes progress.
Mm-hmm.
But if you tell your kid you don't know how to color, you coloring outside the lines, your kid gonna give up on coloring. And I feel like what separates the successful from the unsuccessful has a lot to do with the limitations that were put on us when we were kids. You have to let your kids' imagination be real to them. Like if they feel like, because I'm pretty sure the person that invented the first airplane, people probably wanted to say, you will never fly.
Mm-hmm.
But look at that person flying. Might not have wings to fly, but found a way to get off the ground. But if somebody would have told that kid over and over again that it's impossible to fly, then they might not have invented the airplane. And that's just with a lot of stuff, a lot of inventions, the world period. Because if somebody told people you can't build buildings, then we won't even have shelter. We started just with land.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have land, we have houses, we have a whole lot of stuff, amusement parks. Like, who thought they can build a roller coaster? But it wasn't somebody whose parents was telling them that you can't do this.
Yeah.
You can't. And if it was, that person was just strong enough to outwit the devil. Because when you telling your kids they can't do something or they are not good at something, you are being a devil's advocate.
Yeah, sometimes parents, we have this I'm trying to think of the word, the right word to say, but we are always trying to protect our children. And protecting our children, we feel that we have to be 100% honest about what it is that they can't do. And in doing so, we kind of hinder them from growth.
Yeah.
When we tell them that, because we don't know what the next person can do. Exactly. And I know we trying to protect them from the world, protect them from disappointment. But in order to grow and to learn and to push ourselves, we need support from our parents. And we need unconditional support, and them telling us, like, you can do it even if they can't. Let them fail. You have to fail to learn. And we cannot protect our children from failing, from heartbreak. These are the things that make you grow. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to be broken down to the smallest part of yourself for you to regrow yourself. Sometimes that has to happen. I know we want to protect our kids from the world, from everything. I had that before I had children. That was I just want to protect my child from the world.
But you can't.
I'm not doing her no good if I try to protect her from everything. She got to experience falling in order to jump high.
Exactly.
You know, in order to soar, she got to fall.
Exactly. But I don't want to say but, because I totally agree with everything that you're saying, so I won't say but to add on to that, I want to say that even when we get feedback from the outside, feedback from strangers don't hurt as much as feedback from the people that we love. So the people that I love telling me I can't do something, it won't hurt as much. I mean, it's going to hurt way worse than somebody outside telling me that I can't do something, because one, they don't know. My mind can give me support evidence why this could be untrue. They don't know me. They they have to get to know you to tell you what you can't do. They only saw me do this one time. They don't know how good I am at this. And that can keep my feelings from being hurt if I tell myself things like that. But coming directly from a parent, a sibling, somebody who's raising me, it hit different because they know me. So it's just like, dang, if they don't think I can do it, then maybe I can.
Yeah.
And maybe I can't. And when your support system is your number one fans, it's likely that you're not even gonna worry about what people saying. Cause my mother told me I can do this.
Yeah.
Like, it don't matter what you say because my mother said I can do it. Mm-hmm. So the words from strangers might just be like, okay, you don't think I can walk? I try again. That's just like when I went to Eastern Shore, and I say walk because I was denied from the modeling team when I went to Eastern Shore. And, they denied me my first trials. I was denied. But since my biggest support system at the time, we at school together, you like, nah, you can model, like, you know how to model. And then I did tryouts again, and they accepted me the second time. But if they was telling me, if they denied me and you was telling me, I don't think modeling for you, I probably would have gave up, man. It hit different depending on who it's coming from. Who it's coming from. And when it's coming from our heroes, it's worse.
Yeah.
It's worse. And I know we want to protect our kids, but like I stated before, sometimes that fear of them failing get into your ego, because your ego is there to protect you. So it's your ego protecting your child too. And your ego, the majority of the time, is the devil's advocate. So we have to stop being the devil's advocate to our loved ones. And even when we feel like they not the best at something, just encourage them anyway, because when I started doing nails, them nails looked terrible. But I used to be like, oh, they look like, I ain't even gonna say what I said they look like. With city, I said they would city. I said they look like a city nails. I'm not gonna say what city that was.
Oh, okay. Say that. Don't say that.
But basically, I just thought they looked real like it's ugly. And you used to be like, nah, they look good. They look good. And I know deep down inside, you probably didn't like them. But you telling me that they look good kept me going. Mm-hmm. Because the minute, first of all, I already was doubting myself. The minute you would have gave me confirmation that they was ugly, it would have been over.
Yeah.
They gave up.
It's been plenty of times my daughter said that she can't do something. I just say, yes, you can. Can't is not in your vocabulary. Try it again. She'll try it again and she'll get it the next time. Or she don't get it the next time, she'll do it again. And she get it because she's trying to learn how to flip. She's in gymnastics and she's trying to learn how to flip. So I'm like, try the backflip again. And she tried it, she got a little hurt, so she didn't want to do it anymore. But the fact is, she tried 5 times, and if I would have told her, once she said, I can't do it, and if I would have said, you can't do it, she would have stopped right there. But she did it again because I said, you can do it. And then she did it that time. It wasn't a whole full-on backflip, but it was good for a 4-year-old. Mm-hmm. And she looked at me and she said, oh, I did it. And that's just what I'm pumping into her, like, every day. Like, we starting to do affirmations now, positive affirmations. She's 4 years old. But this is the time where they soak up everything and they remember, even if they don't understand what you're trying to tell them, they remember. And when I was listening to Nipsey Hussle podcast the other day, he was talking about what he'd say to his daughter on the ride to school. And then it just felt so important to me. I said, I have to learn these words to speak to my daughter every morning. He asked his daughter, are you confident? And she said, yes. He said, what is confidence? Believing in yourself. are you a leader or a follower? She said she's a leader. He said, what is that? Thinking for myself. He asked her, does she have integrity? She said, yes. He said, what is integrity? She said, doing good things when nobody is looking. So I said, I'm gonna pump that into my daughter's head every day, so she can help hold her head high. She can know that she has confidence, that she is a leader, and that she has integrity. That is very important to me. I'm trying to raise a compassionate person that cares about other people's feelings. I always tell her to be kind to others, and I see that she's picking up on these things. And one day when she older, she like, my mother told me that, and it's going to shake. She might not understand now. She still have her ways. She want to be selfish and not share her toys with her little cousin sometimes, and her little cousin get on her nerves sometimes. But we talk about that stuff too. And the biggest thing for me, and I know all parents is not going to want to hear this because they might want to be a little bit more stern with their kids, but I'm trying my hardest to practice gentle parenting. I don't think the yelling thing is effective. I don't want to be the parent that yell at my child and then she's afraid to talk to me about things. I want to talk to her to understand what she's going through, and I want to be able to give her the best advice in a level-headed mindset, not because I'm her parent and she should just do what I say. I want her to create the path in her life that makes her the happiest.
Right. Cannot forget that kids are people. They use us as portals into this world, and we help them navigate until they old enough to soar on their own. But they are their individual own person. Yeah. Everything, and just because we are a certain type of way, it does not mean our kids will be the same way, because they are their own people. And I'm learning that more and more with my nieces and my daughter. Like, seeing kids really go from an infant to growing up, you see that they are their own people. Like, the only thing we can do is really lead by example. If we want them to be great in life, then we have to show them how to be great in life. And that's the only thing that we can do as parents. Nurture them when they sick, when they hurt, or just all the time. We're going to love on our kids, but for the most part, we have to learn to let them be who they are, because that's another thing that I feel like is the difference between successful people and non-successful people. A lot of non-successful people grow up with the standards that was put onto them. And then it's just a lot of stuff they won't do because of what they learn as children. Like, I'm trying to think, and it's a lot of fears too. I'm trying to think of a good example of that.
Children growing up.
With, like, children growing up with the living by the standards that they was taught as a child, but standards that might not be good for them. Like, say if okay, good example right here. Say if I'm not a person that like to wear bikinis, right? So I wear a one piece, a skirt, cover everything up, and I teach my child that this is the only way to go swimming, or this is the only way. You don't show your body. And my child grow up and she want to be a model, but she may have to do like a swimsuit shoot or something. And in all actuality, it's nothing wrong with wearing a bikini. But because my standard is to cover up, it becomes her standard, and it hinders her from doing something that she want to do, because I'm in the back of her mind when they ask her to put on this swimsuit. I'm in her head telling her, no, only HOES. Well, I can see only this type of person wear bikinis, and if you wear a bikini, men gonna have the wrong impression of you. Instead of teaching her to love her body and what was given, what was given to her in this art. Like the body is a canvas, and then you can take a swimsuit picture very classy, very ladylike.
Yeah, that's a parent projecting because they didn't feel comfortable in their skin, so they placed that on their child.
And then
so it's their belief system. Maybe they're a Christian or something, and they feel like this is the way that it have to be because they are in that box. That leads me to the quote that one of my favorites, Mahatma Gandhi. I love Gandhi. Like, he's just one of my superheroes. But it says, your beliefs become your thoughts. Your thoughts become your words. Your words becomes your actions. Your actions become your habits. Your habits become your values. And your values become your destiny.
Exactly.
So it starts with your beliefs, which start in the household.
Yeah. As a child.
And that shapes your destiny. If you had these certain beliefs that was placed upon you, they become what you think about, and then they become what you speak about, and then they become what you do, and they become what you do all the time, and then they become what you value most, and then they just become your life. And that doesn't necessarily mean that's who you are.
It don't. Well, I see that happening in young girls and young boys. So, I'm gonna start with the young girls first. The music that's out there today, it's given the perception of you have to get money from a man in order to talk to him, or like his value is in his pockets. So all men are worth is money. So if he can't give you no money, he can't do this for you, then you can't sleep with him, because that's what it is, like trading sex for money. That's what the music is today. And it's with the young girls that's listening to this music, that's what's becoming them, and then their destiny, like, the music, child, the music, I can't even see a future that does not have these young girls out here just doing anything for money, just not valuing their bodies. First of all, when I teach my child about sex and love and everything, I want to make sure she understands that people don't just get your body. Your body it's not up for trade. It's not a bartering trade. You don't give your body to nobody for no amount of money, because your worth is not money. Like, no amount of money is worth your body. You are precious. Like, you are a pot of gold. Like, people really gotta dive to the bottom of the sea to find you. You are a treasure. Like, no amount of money is worth your body. That's number one. So, the music that's out today, it gives me the creeps, because it's teaching our women that if he gonna buy me some $400 shoes, then I'm gonna sleep with him. What? Some $400 shoes? You can buy the shoes yourself. You can buy the shoes yourself. Make him work. Like, make her work. And by work, I don't mean go to work, get paid, and give you some money. I mean, make them worth your time, your love. Like, make them work for that. Make them treat you with respect. This is working. Make them treat you with respect. Make them treat you how you want to be treated. Like, Feel special when you are with that person. It's not special as in he bought me this, he bought me that. And that's another thing with practicing love and what's conditional and what's unconditional. But if I base the future off of the music that we are listening to and are encouraged by today, there will be no love in the future. The music is wiping love out. It's just wiping love out of the equation. And in return, it's messing up it's messing up family ships. Because you got, even if a young boy is listening to this music and they saying that all women is worth is just a couple $100 or $40 for the club, or all I gotta do is get her hair done. And if that's a young boy's perception of a woman, how is he gonna start looking at his mother and treating his mother if she not showing him different? Like, that's why it's important to show your kids different. They learn in the household first. So if they do happen to be listening to this type of music, it just going in one ear and out the other.
Yeah, I know some good women. My mother a good woman.
Exactly.
I've heard guys say, shoot, the way I see how my sisters move, how my mother move, I'm not going to trust a woman.
Exactly.
It's just fear-driven. Everything people in the world right now is putting it out there as if they is alpha, strong, I don't care about love, I'm going to use them for what they got. It's all fear.
Mm-hmm.
The fear of getting hurt, the fear of rejection, the fear of not being enough for somebody. Because I'm a person that people can talk to, you know, and I heard like, they don't like me like that. I said, it might not be that. Sometimes you're just not compatible with everybody. But don't automatically think because somebody don't want you or they don't like you in their way that it's something wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
But that's fear. It's fear-based. Nobody thinks that they're good enough. So everybody is grasping. I'm just going to take what I can take until my luck run out. Because I know this not going to last. I know this love not going to last. I know this guy going to be on to the next.
Mm-hmm.
This girl going to be on to the next. They going to cheat on me. I might cheat on them. It's fear.
And it's awful, man. It's what we teaching our kids. And if we not teaching our kids at home, this is what they're learning. Because this is what's mainstream. Like, this is what they get on the radios. This is what they watch on TV. This is what they see when they go outside. I look out the balcony. When I look out my window off the balcony, I see the little kids playing outside. But it's so many times I look out there and I see them little girls, and they like 6, they like 7, probably the oldest one probably like 12 or something. And I always catch them shaking their butts. Like, I just always catch them twerking and stuff. Like, I even walked past the playground one time and they was on splits twerking. Like, but this is...
They want to be in. They want to fit in.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to stand out. Like, I'm going to keep quoting Nipsey Hussle because I love him. But he's very, very smart. He said, stay in your lane. There's no traffic in your lane.
It's
But nobody wants to stand out.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody want to fit in. And one thing that stuck with me also that he said is, and I'm still pondering on this statement. He said, would you rather be at peace with yourself and at war with the world, or at peace with the world and at war with yourself?
Man, I take the war with the world any day.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, sometimes because we don't want to be at war with the world, we sacrifice our own peace. Like, we do things that are really not us, just to look cool, just to fit in, just to live up to sometimes our parents' expectations. When we should strive to be at peace within, and then to hell with everybody else, because this is your walk. You gotta be happy in your walk.
Mm-hmm.
So many people out here living a lie because they don't want the next person to look down on them, to think a way about them. But your happiness is the most important thing. You weren't brought on this earth to make everybody else comfortable if you're not comfortable.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes that even means your parents and your loved ones, and kids won't be watching this, but I would like to, that would be my message to children, because I always consider myself a rebel. So I don't really care about your rules that you're giving me. And it's crazy because I see that so much in my own child. I be like, she gonna be just like me. And it's scary because I know how strong-willed I am. And me and my aunt got into a conflict before because I kissed one of my friends. She was a girl, and I put it on social media, and my aunt was like, no, you need to take that down. And your aunts and your great aunts and everybody saying it. And I'm like, I don't care what they think. And she was so upset with me. Like, and if you watching this, aunt, I didn't mean no disrespect when I said I don't care what they think about me. It's just me as a person. I'm going to live my life how I want to live my life and what makes me happy. If my loved ones can't just get down with that, then I don't know what to tell you, because I can't people please so much that I don't be myself. And that brings me back to breaking these generational cycles and stuff, because one day I saw a young boy tell his mom, well, I was talking about Juice WRLD, right? Mm-hmm. And he was like, I love Juice WRLD. And his mother said, boy, you don't like no Juice WRLD, you like NBA Youngboy. And he like, nah, I do like Juice WRLD, but it's just like, again, like you said, everybody wants to be a part of something. Everybody wants to fit in. Nobody wants their kids to be an outcast.
Yeah.
No, none of the kids like Juice WRLD. All the kids like NBA Youngboy. Who wants their kids to be an outcast? But my message to the parents who fear their kids being outcasts, let your kids be an outcast. Because it's always the outcasts and it's always the weird ones that surpass a lot of things and a lot of people. They reach heights that nobody reached because they are not afraid of being themselves, mm-hmm. even when everybody else is a certain way. When I was a kid, I always said to myself, look, if everybody choose the green door, I'm choosing the pink one. It's just the rebel in me. Like, I don't want what everybody else has. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. So I created my own little lifestyle. If everybody doing this, I want to do that. I just feel like it's fun and doing what ain't nobody else doing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just fun. It's just so fun. It's fun. It's like living outside the norm. It's like stepping outside of a bubble. But the majority of us are in bubbles. And we put our kids in bubbles. And it's, like you said, it's to protect them. But the ego, baby, is the devil's advocate. We have to stop. If your kid like Juice WRLD, let your kid like Juice WRLD. If your kid like J. Cole, let your kid like J. Cole.
If they want to paint instead of boxing as a boy, let them paint. Sure, we got Bosky out here.
I'm telling you.
Let them be the next big artist.
You not about to paint. That's for girls. You need to be a boxer. He don't want to box for real.
If his heart not in it, he's not going to succeed at it. He's not going to try hard. If you try to put something on a child because this is what you see for them, they're not going to work as hard as if it was something that they wanted to
Exactly.
do.
And even if they do work as hard, you might tell them go to boxing, and they might do work hard because they end up liking boxing. Boxing might take them here. But if they would have stick to painting like they do, they would have been Picasso. Like, we have to let them be them. We gotta let them be them.
They are people.
Because they people. They people, and we might not like our young boys playing with pink toys, and we might not like our girls playing with hammer sets, but you don't want to stop your daughter from being the next top builder of the world if that's what she meant to be, and you don't want to stop your son from starting the biggest Barbie company ever, and he might not even be feminine. He probably just like how Barbie looked to him. He might want that to be his girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? But our fears we put on our kid. Oh, he playing with a Barbie. He this, he that. Like, let him be him, even if he is this or that, because you don't know. Everybody came into this world with a purpose.
Exactly.
If his purpose is to be this or that, let him live in his purpose. We don't know what lessons this going to teach the world. We don't know what impact this is going to have on the world. You let your kids be your kids.
Yeah, so my only thing to add to it, it's a great topic, is that we were all born with God-given talent and, like you said, a purpose. So as parents, if we don't have the capacity to be our children's number one fans, let's heal so that we can be that, because we should be their number one fan and we should be the ones in their corner. If they want to change their career 1,000 times, we should always be in their corner, because at the end of the day, everyone deserves to be happy with the choices that they are making in life and with their walk in this life, because we only get one. We don't get a do-over. We only get one. So everybody deserves to be happy in that. And we all deserve support from the people that love us the most. And you have anything else?
My advice to all of the parents is treat your kids how you want your kids to treat you. And I say that because I know a lot of people who call their kids, their girls their daughters the B word. Like, stop. And then their daughters grow up to start cursing at them. And now you mad. But you cursing at them, so they gonna reciprocate that energy. So if you want respect from your children, respect your kids. They deserve respect too.
Yeah.
Stop cursing at your kids, man. It don't feel good. It don't even feel good as an adult when somebody curse at me. I have really soft feelings. So you curse at me, it might be, what's up? Like, don't curse at me. My feelings get hurt. It might make me cry. Like, don't curse at me. So stop cursing at our kids. Stop talking to them like they just nothing. I was on the phone with somebody very dear to me who I love a whole lot, and I heard her mom call her anything. You anything. Like what? I just had to say, I'm gonna call you back, because I didn't want to go off, like, and start an altercation with that person, because I know who I was on the phone with, they love their mom. Like, kids love their parents, so I don't want to get into it with your parent, but it really hurt my feelings. It literally made my stomach hurt. Like, anything though, that's to me, if somebody called me anything, that's one of the worst things that somebody can call me. It's like spitting on somebody, like they just like you're nothing. Like, why would you call your child anything? I hate it. I hate when people. I don't like when people curse at their kids. I feel like we should respect our kids more. Talk to them with respect. Let them know that you love them. That's another thing. We don't say it enough. And then sometimes it's too late for us to say it. And then one of the biggest things that, okay, this is the last thing. I'm gonna end it here. The biggest thing is, don't tell your kids you hate them. Don't tell your kids you wish they was dead.
You wouldn't have had
or
them.
You wish you wouldn't have had them. You should have got an abortion. Like, please, 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 please stop. Please stop. And to everybody, love, respect, honor. Let's break these cycles. Let's break these chains. Let's use our voice our words, our love for upliftment and encouragement. Our children are the future. They determine what the future is going to look like, how far we will go as people, generational wealth. Like, let's stand here for that. Let's normalize being great with our kids, to our kids, and for our kids.
Yes. And with that being said, do everything
With
love,
with class, and with peace, pretty girls.